So, good morning, viewers, and welcome to Career Pathshala. Wow, we are getting we opened and we are getting comments of good morning. So, a warm morning to everyone uh, in this show. This show is all about students and uh, about guiding them with the career opportunities. We start the second week of Career Pathshala with the industry which has defined IT in India and has brought India pride in global सिनेरियो किसी भी आप एक्सपर्ट से मिलें कल भी हमारे पास जो स्पीकर आए थे he was a senior director and he said that he started his career with TCS. So for a lot of people to start and to believe and to go longer in their career life, TCS has been not only a leader in IT industry uh, but a home ground for many people to learn IT skills, to understand them, and take it professionally. So we are privileged to have with us Mr. Gaurav and Ms. Shraddha from TCS. And also we welcome you, sir, to our Career Pathshala show. And we thank you for the time and you have given and the efforts which TCS is bringing in to support Career Pathshala. It is really commendable. We also have with us a very special guest, Dr. Manish Billore. Sir is the director for Oriental Group of institutions spread in Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur, and Oriental University. So he takes care for the most important field, which is the training and placement. Welcome, Dr. Manish sir, for the in the Career Pathshala, your own show. Also to mention,
Thank you, Dr. Anuj. Thank you.
Oriental Group is the Yuva partner with CII in Bhopal, and we really thank you for coming up and spending time. We have two student representatives, Bhumika and Shikha, joining in the show, and we are all set to take you to the context of the day, which is Business 4.0, a very important and very common term used in the industry. And students कई बार आते हैं पूछते हैं what is this all about. So before we go on to the show, we would like to have opening words from Dr. Manish, and then we take it to Gaurav and Shraddha. Manish sir.
Thank you, Dr. Anuj. It's been a pleasure for me as a person and me as a member of the Oriental Group of Institutes to be on this platform. I really appreciate the YI of CII has been active for the past couple of weeks, and I'm sure this has been because of your presence, Dr. Anuj. Your inclusion has been really important and significant in CII YI. Nevertheless, these kind of activities are really important for students. Number one, to let them know that why they are important parts of the society, and how they are going to contribute to the society in the time to come. Secondly, it's also significant and relevant for them to interact with industry people. So I don't know whether many of the students would have got chance to interact directly with Mr. Gaurav or Mr. Shraddha one to one. So this becomes an important platform for them to be one to one with all these significant industry leaders. And thirdly, but not the least, it becomes a great opportunity for the students to pose their questions. You know, students are known for their queries. Rather, I would say that good students are known for their queries. So if you go to a primary class or a nursery class, you will find a lot of raised hands because they have a lot of queries. Unfortunately, by the course of time, when they grow up, the number of queries are reduced. So we see a significant drop in number of queries. But then, Dr. Anuj, your initiative from CII and RGPV, I really appreciate that these are the platforms in which we, kind of put a force on the students that please participate in this session and please put your questions to the significant leaders, to the industry leaders with whom perhaps you're going to work in the time to come. So all these points are really appreciable. I really appreciate all the initiatives that have been taken. Plus, a special thanks to people like Mr. Gaurav and Mr. Shraddha to spare their time to come with us and complete this forum. This industrial academia interaction would have never completed if Dr. Anuj and me would have spoken to the students on this platform. So you complete this forum, you complete this loop, and because of your presence, Gaurav and Shraddha, we find ourselves accomplished in terms of giving a lot of inputs to the students. Thanks once again, and I hope for a very fruitful and interactive session this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manish. You have set the context and importance of seeking and exploring the answers, and to gain knowledge is should be the key. And sir ने बहुत अच्छे से बताया कि as a students, as kids, there was a lot of raise of hands, and now we hope that our students will keep commenting towards the end of the after half an hour, probably will 40 minutes will take question and answers. So we hope that the chat box is going to be bombarding with a lot of questions, because we have a very special guest, a very popular name in Madhya Pradesh, Gaurav sir. He has been a very popular among colleges, and the best thing about him is he's just a call away and always supporting. In fact, for this career Pathshala, sir has given a lot of inputs and support from TCS. So we also thank Shraddha ma'am for joining in for such an important and relevant topic. So Business 4.0 is when I was just visiting the TCS website, and I found that yes, this is something which we want our students to know more about, because this is something which TCS has evolved and is a forerunner in this technology and this idea of Business 4.0. So setting the context, I hand it over to Gaurav sir and Shraddha ma'am to guide our students about this wonderful opportunity which is coming, and which can help them to shape their career. A very important session for all the viewers. Be at your place, and next 1 hour is going to be very informative for you. Over to you, Gaurav sir, and welcome again.
Thank you, Anuj sir. Good morning to all the participants who are there on call. Okay, a very good morning. Hope you are keeping yourself safe and healthy during the current pandemic situation. So that is something which is of prime importance. Thank you, Anuj sir, I think, for setting up this particular initiative of Career Pathshala as a part of CII Young Indians not initiative. And I'm sure that this initiative will benefit a lot of students, okay, across India, in terms of knowing what is currently happening in the industry, what are the areas which they need to start preparing, which will help them in their career placement. So I think this is one of the wonderful initiatives started by you. And I would also like to thank you for one more reason for giving us this opportunity, okay, to come and interact with the students on such a big platform, because I'm sure that today what me and Shraddha are going to do is we are going to share our experience. Rather than putting it as a session, I would say this is an experience sharing on Business 4.0. That is what we are going to do for the next 60 minutes of time that we have. Okay. So again, my congratulations to the entire team of CII Young Indians for setting up this particular initiative. Again, thank you to Manish sir for setting up the context and for your kind words. And Manish sir again has been, a very wonderful gentleman to interact with. Okay. So with that, let me start, today's experience sharing. So what we'll do is we'll start with 5 minutes, something that I would like to share. And after that, Shraddha will take over the major part today, where she will be sharing her own experience in terms of what Business 4.0 is all about. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. Just to set up the background, I'll give you the context in terms of when we talk about Business 4.0. So Business 4.0 is something which is coined by TCS in synchronization with Industry 4.0. So that is where I would like to give you a small background in terms of what TCS is all about. Okay. So just to start with, as I think it's as Anuj sir mentioned, this is one of the most famous name across the globe. Wherein we talk about TCS is nothing but the Tata Consultancy Services. Okay, so when I talk about Tata Consultancy Services, then what is Tata Consultancy Services? So it is a company which has an annual revenue of $22 billion. Okay, so if I talk about the revenue for FY 1920, it is $22 billion, which is one of the major achievement for any IT company to have such a big revenue. in today's era. So that is what we are very proud of being a part of TCS. Again, when you talk about global IT service providers, TCS is among the top 10. Okay, and this is again happening since last 2 decades that TCS is among the top 10 global IT service provider. You talk about the spread of TCS. So TCS is spread in 19 countries. Okay, and we have 187 solution center. When I say solution center, that is means the TCS offices are there in 187 offices are there across 19 countries. Again, when you talk from the geography perspective, I think very few companies would have such a major coverage. The best part of TCS is the employee strength. Okay, so when you ask me how many employees are working in TCS, I can say there are 4,43,000 plus employees are working in TCS. So try to imagine. Okay, there are in fact few cities, or there are some few states in India which will be having a population of like 4 lakh or 5 lakhs. But here, a company itself has a population of more than 4,43,000, which signifies another contribution of TCS towards the employment area. And the best part is, out of this 4,43,000 people that we have, more than 35% of the population is a female population. So again, lot of opportunities for the female candidates in a company like TCS, and that too at various levels. We have various senior positions, okay, where you find, we'll be having women employees in those particular positions. So again, this is a company which believes a lot of in diversity and inclusion. We have diversity not only in terms of gender, but also diversities in terms of nationalities. Okay, so when I talk about nationalities, people from different nations, so 144 nationalities. Okay, again, this is a tremendous achievement when you talk about any organization having such a wide and diverse nationalities. As I told you, more than 35% of the workforce is a women workforce. And the best part is the training and development in TCS. Okay, so you can see that out of this 4,43,000, more than 3,50,000 people have been trained in all the new technologies. So when you actually term about technologies, or when you name a technology, you name any technology, and TCS would be having a partnership in that particular area. So TCS is one of the organizations which deals in almost all the technologies that exist in this particular globe. Okay, so again, you see that a lot of focus has been given on training and development, where more than 3,53,000 people have already been started training on new technologies, and that is how they learn new things. Okay, in spite of having such a high employee strength of 4,43,000, when you talk about the attrition, it is lowest in the industry. When you talk about IT industry, where average attrition falls somewhere between 20-22%, TCS is one organization where attrition rate is less than 12%. It is a significant achievement. This shows the level of satisfaction that the employees have by working in a company called as TCS. Okay. On the right hand side, you see there are various accolades which TCS would have received, again in all the different areas. Might be in terms of recruitment, or either in terms of training and development, or either in terms of revenue, or either in terms of employee satisfaction. There are various accolades which TCS has received over last 2 or 3 decades that the company is there. Again, I mean, just for the information of everyone, this is a 50-year-old company. TCS was established in the year 1967, and it is a 50-year-old company that exists in India with such a great achievement. Okay. Just last couple of things that I would like to share. So as I told you, from technology perspective, we are everywhere. You name a technology and TCS would be having that technology in their day-to-day operations. But at the same time, working on different domain is also very essential. Okay, you might find some company working only for a specific domain, say manufacturing domain or retail domain. But TCS is one of that organization which has customers almost in every domain, starting from banking and financials, insurance, manufacturing, going on till travel, hospitality, public services, retail, and even life science and healthcare. Even during this COVID-19 situation, TCS has been working with the government as well as with a lot of customers in terms of how this situation can be handled in a better way. So that is where a lot of customers from life sciences and healthcare are working with TCS to bring out the best solution for all the people around the globe. And this is what I wanted to talk from a technology and domain perspective. But at the same time, one of the most important point of TCS is about doing something for the society. Okay, TCS belongs to Tata Group. Tata Group is very well known for its philanthropic efforts towards the society. And for TCS, we can say that for every $1 that we earn, so 0.47, that is 47% of the revenue goes back to the community in different ways. Okay, there are so many avenues, there are so many initiatives. So whatever we earn, 47% of it goes to the community, and that is where company, does. Company as a part of Tata Group does enormous work for the society as well. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share the background about the company for whom we are going to learn more about Business 4.0. So that is the reason I thought let me share this with everyone. Okay, for your reference, for your information, and especially for the achievement and the proudness that I and Shraddha have by working in this company for more than 15 years now. Okay. So with that, I will end here. I will pass on the baton to Shraddha to take it forward when she will talk about Business 4.0. Shraddha, over to you.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Gaurav. But I just want to interrupt and comment that yes, this was something very important, Gaurav, bringing in the knowledge of the industry which has dominated and has created and shaped the IT in India. Thank you so much, Gaurav. And yes,
Thank you,
Shraddha, all
Anuj sir.
yours.
Thank you, Manish sir. Thanks, Gaurav, for setting up the contest. And thank you, Anuj sir and Manish sir, for giving us the opportunity to talk in the forum of CII within Young Indians. So I hope, as Gaurav mentioned, all of you are great, well, and healthy, because that's the most important part in today's pandemic. So before I start my session, let me tell you that this batch, I just got to know from Anuj sir that this batch is going to be there for the placement in coming year. So wanted to share one secret with you all, that you are the unique batch, because you are going to appear for the placement just after the COVID adversity. And it says that whenever any adversity starts, either it breaks you or it breaks you to set up the records. And I'm sure the batch is going to definitely moving towards to set up a records in terms of career path. So welcome all. And I know it's not going to be a pep talk, that TED talk that we are going to target. Let's start with that. So Business 4.0. Gaurav, can you move to the next slide, please? Gaurav, can you? Yeah, thank you. So when I say Business 4.0, what is a 4? Definitely all of us are engineer here. Nobody will ask, I mean, nobody will take it for the 4 as just as a number. They wanted to know what is 1, 2, 3 before that. Any logical question that comes after this. So Business 4.0, before we go there is some correlation with Industry 4.0. Before I start with Industry 4.0, again going back to what is Industry 1.0. So Industry 1.0 was more of a steam engine revolution. So when the mechanization started, the people started using appliances. That's the era of Industry 1.0. It almost lasted for around 150 to 200 years. Then came the Industry 2.0, which was more about the electricity revolution, where mass production started, assembly lines started taking place, and it again lasted for a few years. And then came all of you when the year when all of you, most of the your millennials were born. That's 90s, and the era of modern computers. That's what we call it as an Industry 3.0. And the latest one on the card is Industry 4.0, which is about the digital industry revolution, the digital technologies that started booming in the era of technologies like analytics, big data, AR, VR, and most of you are using in day-to-day life. So that's Industry 4.0. So when Industry 4.0 started taking shape, there was a business impact on every customer that TCS and any IT companies were working on. So what is the Business 4.0? It is a TCS thought leadership framework that TCS has developed so that their customer, when they are facing the challenges in the world of Industry 4.0, they can adhere to the challenges. They can move ahead of the curve with the help of a technology. So that's what a business 4.0 is about. In few slides, next few slides, I will be talking more detail about the framework that we are going to have. So, before moving to the exact framework, there is always something a base concept, or what you call it as the base for any theory or any practice to exist. So, what is the mindset that is driving business 4.0? In industrial economics, what we normally hear is a scarcity. So, what is a scarcity? Actually, scarcity gives rise to choice, or the options to choose from. So, always we thought of there is a scarcity of resources, scarcity of talent, capital, so that we have to use whatever we have in hand wisely. But Industry 4.0 or Business 4.0 definitely challenges this concept. What we say is that there is a harness or the abundance of a talent, capital, and capabilities. Just to cite a few examples, when I say what is the abundance of a talent, Gaurav mentioned about there is almost 4.5 lakhs employees in TCS. But what do you think? Are we rely only on those employees to develop a new product, to come up with any innovation? Definitely not. There is a talent which is outside the organization who is participate in the hackathons. There are the people like you who are in day to day working with a few of the other hackathons or any opportunity that we are placing in front of the new talent that coming in the industry. So definitely there is abundance of a talent in the market and we are utilizing it to the fullest. Then abundance of capital. Earlier, we used to say we have a limited amount of money to start a business. We have only X amount of money to invest in the market. But in day to day, if you're seeing any news, there is a person with a heart disease. We need a crowdfunding to source that. Some new innovative concept is there. There is the options like a crowdfunding to raise such a huge amount of capital. And there we are talking about the abundance of a capital that's there in the market. Last but definitely not the least, what is the abundance of capabilities? So when we talk about abundance of capabilities, here when we are joining hands with the industry leader, there are few startups, there are few academic institutes who are helping us to come up with the innovative products, new ideas, a new framework. So we are harnessing all this which is there exists in the ecosystem in terms of abundance. That's like a talent, capital, and capability. So, in order to set the context for Business 4.0, there is a harness of abundance of talent, capital, and capabilities, but we need to utilize it to the fullest so that we can have the best out of it. So, now coming to the Business 4.0 as an actual framework, what is it? I'm sure in this era of pandemic, all of us are in lockdown. We are trying different dishes every day to day. But whenever we are trying the same dish with different ingredients, definitely it tastes different, right? It doesn't taste same if you do not have that ingredient earlier. So similarly, you consider this business 4.0 is like a dish. We are having a few layer adding it to the addressing the impact of COVID-19. So earlier there was a behavior aspects as well as a technological aspect. But COVID-19, which no one imagined of, had stuck in the starting of this year, and we have added a one more layer in order to address the recent need that companies are facing due to COVID-19. And that, so I will start addressing that layer first, and then going in depth with the behavior or a technological aspect. So the recent layer that we added is talking more about how we are addressing the recent need of a COVID-19 impact. So that this layer is more talking about the purpose driven company. What is a purpose driven company? If you see earlier, either company are selling a product or a services. If you have a product like an Apple, which is a more of an innovative product, they're selling a best of the world product to you. But nowadays it is not only sufficient to just have a best of the product or best of the services. You need to have a purpose for your company to grow further. So when I meant a purpose driven, just to cite an example, travel, transportation, and hospitality industry. This is an industry which has impacted the highest because of the COVID-19 impact. But there is airlines. Now, if you are for a common layman, if you ask what is the airlines is doing, you will say that I don't think so. There is much business exists at this point in time for airline because the travel is stuck. But that's not the answer. The companies are going beyond their service or the product at this point. They're looking for the purpose. So there are few passenger airlines who started going into cargo of medical essentials. They started traveling and transporting a cargo via cargo or medical essentials which is required across the world. So that is the purpose driven at this point in time for the airlines. Next example, loyalty. If I say about what is a purpose driven and a loyalty are related, loyalty is something that in this era of adversity you will gain the most. if you are having a purpose and a customer intimacy. And if you lose in this point in time, definitely you're not going to get it later. So reverse loyalty is something that is progressing in this era. What is a reverse loyalty? First, let me tell you what is a loyalty. When you buy something, when you utilize any service, you are a loyal customer for that product company. The reverse loyalty is what company is giving back to their employees, their customers in the adversity time like a COVID. So there are a few airlines like a JetBlue for that matter. JetBlue has completely cancelled and waived off their cancellation fees and even any change that you're doing during the time of COVID. So this is what you call as it. They are giving back to their customer. Then for that matter, there is a United Airlines who has increased their loyalty factor, or you can say that they have a loyal customer. The points that you have earned for this year will remain the same without any impact on your loyalty index for next 1 year. So this is what they are giving back to their customer. So the purpose driven is something most important during the time of pandemic like COVID-19. Next thing that I like to talk about the resilience. You must have heard this term resilience a number of times in this COVID time. But what does exactly resilience means? A resilience means a capacity to recover quickly in the time of difficulties. So how do you respond quickly to any adversity that comes with the resilient factor that you have? So I like to cite an example of another industry, that's a retail industry, Marks and Spencer. Most of you are knowing Marks and Spencer being a clothing company, right? Nobody can imagine Marks and Spencer other than being a very bright and very known clothing brand. So, but in the time of COVID-19, Marks and Spencer has started their meal services. Their online site, which was very famous for clothing essentials, has become a best stop and the best solution to get online meal boxes, or you call a chilled ready boxes for the food. So they were having a boxes for at least which will survive the meal for 7 days for any customer who are buying it. So that's what the resilience that they have shown in the time of COVID-19. How do you adjust to the adversity in the time of need? So that's about the resilience. Moving to the next thing, that is about the adaptability. Here, Gaurav spoke about the innovation. So, what does adaptable mean? When any diversity is stuck, there are four ways. How do you respond to it? Either you just respond and react, or maybe you take a breath and then see which direction you want to go, and then you take the direction. Or maybe the last is that once you know the future, you direct towards the future, and lastly, you escalate towards the growth. So adaptability comes into the fourth a sign that we are escalating towards the growth. So, what does adaptable means? When you see a sudden adversity starting, you come up with some opportunity or innovative solution in order to gain the positive impact of adaptability. So, talking about the example of an insurance company, when we say any insurance company, what they do, they provide an insurance when you have some problem, they reimburse it. But there is one European big insurance company who thought more about and more and about just an insurance company. What they have developed is a feel at home. So they have developed a physical assistant, physical personal assistant with the help of technology, so that they can help elderly people, so they can have an independent life of their own in the time of COVID-19, and they can monitor those elderly people who are insured with them. So that's we call adapting with the situation and coming with the innovative solution. The other example will be one of the big bank in again European company. They have came up with the millennial bank account. What is a millennial bank account? How it is different from your normal saving or a current bank account? So this millennial bank account understand the needs of a millennial in the time of COVID-19 or any adversities for that matter. It's not just the financial guidance, it's again a mental as well as the emotional guidance for the millennials of this era who has a financial needs and the mental needs to cover in one step for the bank account. So these are the solutions which they are thinking beyond their day to day or the BAU, what we call in normal language is a BAU, business as usual, going beyond the normal business and trying to find the innovative solution that is required in the time of COVID-19. So, guys, that covers a basic layer that is a purpose driven, resilient, and adaptable, which is required to address in just a few months or like a 1 year down the line. So, that's the immediate need that companies need to cater to in the address of COVID-19. Now, I am moving to the a layer which will require a larger impact, like maybe you call a decade down the line, 5 years down the line. The company is going to have this layer or need to address this layer of many years down the line to come. So that we called as a behavior aspect. So there are four behavior aspects. I just name them few and then we'll go in the in-depth slides. To start with, a leveraging ecosystem. Then there is a mass personalization, embrace the risk, and then create an exponential value that whatever business that you are doing in. Gaurav, can you move to next slide, please? Thank you, Gaurav. Yeah, next one, Gaurav. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the first layer of behavior changes, like creating. Go back, Gaurav, please. Creating exponential value, Gaurav. So, creating exponential value. What is it about creating exponential value? In your day to day business, you are addressing a customer needs, but what is exponential value that you are looking forward to? If you say, what is a Google? Google is just not a search engine. For everybody who is using Google day to day, it's a search engine. But do you think just being a search engine, Google has become a 32 billion company? Definitely not. So there is something beyond that. Google is utilizing it to the fullest in order to become a $32 billion company that we all are seeing it today. So if you see a Google, what Google is harnessing is there the enormous amount of data or the user database that they have. So there are a multiple n number of users who are using raising a search queries on a Google day-to-day basis. What they're doing is they are observing the user behavior. They are coming out of a trend. So Google AdWords is one of the key marketing tool that has been useful. One of the major tool that is useful in the for marketing and the digital marketing purpose. Going beyond, they started using where the people are traveling. So they started exploring the business of GPS. And just on the basis of GPS, there are lot many businesses like a Uber, Ola that came into place. So that the Google is just not a search engine. But if you see it, it is a search engine when it comes to a business. But the business that they are driving, it's from the user database that they have. Moving to the another example of a telecommunication company. I recently received one advertisement like go for the Vodafone any subscription plan. There is some particular subscription plan. Go for it. You will have Amazon Prime membership. So, do you think Vodafone is entering into a media company? Definitely not. But what they're doing is they're seeing the customer behavior. They're trying to get what customers are interested in. Customer are interested in the Netflix, Amazon Prime of the world. So they are offering that so that they can come to them and have their needs satisfied, and they go for the subscription of a Vodafone. Similarly, there are different plans, different internet usage plan as per your user. The personalization they're driving is again the key example of a digital technologies that they have. So there are multiple example cases. If you see in your day-to-day life, what is how to create an exponential value going beyond your day-to-day business. So just to name few, airlines selling burgers or the app to sell burgers, or even when you're sitting on a Ola or Uber, you're using a Wi-Fi. It's altogether a different technology and altogether a different business that they are collaborating with to create an exponential value for their customer. So I suggest you, whenever you're utilizing any service or a business, see what is the other, maybe altogether a different business that is getting impacted because of it, and how we can leverage that. So that's what it is about, creating exponential value under the brand of Business 4.0. Gaurav, can you move to next slide of mass personalization? Thank you, Gaurav. So now we're talking about mass personalization. What is a personalization first? When you're writing any mail, what we do, all our sirs and ma'ams tell us that just do not write say hi or hello, because that is not creating a personal connect, right? So the personalization is that when you write something, dear Gaurav or dear Sir Anuj sir, this is what the personalization. But now in the era of digital personalization, we are going beyond this. So what we are doing is we are creating a segment of one. What is a segment of one? If you go for a marketing, you will understand there are multiple segments. So being male, female, that's one of the segment. You have a market segment of elderly people. You have a market segment of young age people, kids. So these are the segments which were getting addressed till now. But in the era of this digital technology, we have a segment of one. Just to give an example, when you're going on a shopping on Amazon, what do? You when you shop for yourself, it is a different order. You have different preferences, different choices. But tell me, when you're shopping for your either a girlfriend, boyfriend, or your mother, father, the choices will be definitely different, right? That will not be the same experience, not will be the same thing that you're planning to buy. So the Amazon, when you're targeting any online website, the Amazon is targeting you as a segment of one. They every transaction, not only the transaction done by Shraddha will be different, but the transaction done by Shraddha for her kid will be different. Her father, husband, her father or husband will be different. So every transaction done by the every user is considered as a unique. That is what we called as a segment of one. And this is the level of personalization that this kind of technology is targeting. Even for that matter, when you buy a mobile phone on Amazon, do you think the Amazon stop you there after buying mobile phone? Definitely not, right? They suggest you go for the mobile cover. They suggest you go for a headphone. They suggest you n number of any ancillary services that they can buy. So this is what the level of personalization they are trying to do. Just to have it on the lighter note, my brother is in US. I wanted to get some computer from US. I just searched for the prices in the US prices, and unfortunately, from very next day, I was getting all suggestions on the US pricing where I'm staying in India. So maybe this personalization sometimes can be wrong, but definitely they are tracking you your everyday transaction, what you're doing, and how you're doing it. So that's the level of personalization we are talking about with the help of technology. So I just spoke about one of the example in terms of online website, but in your day-to-day life, you can think about lot of them. To add to that, maybe a banks. When you go for a credit card, I was surprised to know that there is a kiddie account and a kiddie credit card. Like for a 4-year-old, my 4-year-old boy is having a credit card. So that level of personalization they have, so that they can target the every customer a customer or a consumer they are targeting to. So this is the segment of one we are talking about and enabling the mass personalization that with the help of the advent of a lot of technologies we can target to. Gaurav, can you move to next slide, please? Thank you so much, Gaurav. So a leveraging ecosystem is the third basic pillar of Business 4.0. So what is an ecosystem? When any retail product or any product for that matter always has a supply chain attached to it. When I say a supply chain, when product gets developed or manufactured at one location and it is getting sold at a supplier and it finally goes in the hand of a customer or a consumer. So this is what we call a supply chain. So earlier there was a one rational that we have to add a value to this at every point in time. So that's why we started calling it as a value chain. But now, in the advent of new digital technologies, the value chain doesn't suffice, guys. We need to go back in the backward integration of the value chain as well as the forward integration of the value chain. That is what we call it as an ecosystem. So, just to give us an example, what is the leveraging ecosystem? What is a Uber? I hope most of you are aware about the Uber has a zero inventory. The do not own a single car that getting rented out under the app of Uber. So what is a Uber in the advent of technology? It is just an app-based service. What they're providing is the use of a GPS. So just the Uber is a company which is giving you a platform under the umbrella of a GPS. They are connecting the car owners with the rider, and what they are giving you is a flexible pricing and a lot of freebies so that the riders can get attract towards the Uber. So in such scenario, they are using the entire ecosystem for their leverage and then trying to get the money or the profit out of it. So there are many examples like that. There is a Airbnb, then there is a Alibaba, who does not have any inventory, but still they are one of the largest profit-making companies in today's world. So if you again look around, you will see many examples who are the companies who are using the lot of their ecosystem and trying to get a lot of profit out of it. So how you can leverage ecosystem is again depend on the digital technologies are the benefit of it. Gaurav, can you move to the last one? The last pillar of Business 4.0? Yeah, thank you. This is the last pillar of a Business 4.0 in terms of a behavioral aspect. So embrace a risk. Uh, I'm sure that you must have heard that you cannot do something if you does not move. So that like the risk taking is something which is very basic if you had to success in the life. So similarly goes for the embracing risk. So what is embracing risk about? So I heard that recently there is that somebody was talking about, I have not failed thousand amount of time. I just attempted thousand things which can go wrong, and at the end of it, I could see something that went actually right. So embracing risk is about the fast failing, fail fast but fail forward. Just to cite an example of again another one of the media agency like a media company like Netflix. So what is the Netflix, guys? So Netflix was more about in 2007. Netflix started with their streaming platform. The company got established in 1998. It was just a media company. Then in 2007, they started this online streaming of a videos. But the major step that they have taken is in 2008. They went their infrastructure on cloud, which gave them a leverage to have a larger space and to reach out to the larger customer database. And at the end, in 2011, Netflix has embraced the risk by stating that they are going to be a original content developer. Mind you, guys, till 2011, media was not that developed. Still, there was a viewership. Still, there was a people were more on the television, and still there was no invent of much smartphone that time. So that there was not a single viewership. Like there was no segment of a young people watching it on a mobile. But still, Netflix took a leap of faith. They know their customer. They know their technology. They started creating their original content, and they have from the 25 million customer subscribed database to today there is a 125 million subscription database, like almost 400% increase in their customer database in the 8 years. That was a huge leap. They could get it because they embraced the risk early of the when the technology was getting developed. So again, it's speak a lot about the how you embrace a risk. So embrace the risk is more about how you're planning to have your innovation. It's more about the disruptive innovation. Here I'm not talking about the another a big example that everybody knows about Tesla. Elon Musk, the disruptive innovation in terms of the automobile industry. That again talks about the embracing risk and how you can gain a value out of it. So today is the era of having taking a calculated risk, fail fast but fail forward. So again, the another last kind be the example is a blockchain. I'm sure you must have read about what is a blockchain about. It's a very in-depth concept that to explain now. But the lot of banks that putting the billions of dollars is a blockchain at this early in this the starting of a blockchain is again embracing risk but showing the value in the larger term. So the business 4.0 as a behavior aspect talks about the embracing risk early, fail fast, and the fail forward are the keywords when it comes to embracing risk. So here we cover all the major four aspects of business 4.0 in terms of behavior. Uh, Gaurav, can you move to the technology aspect, please? Yeah, thank you. So in order to get all these four behavior aspects, you saw the how we can offer you best of the world using this behavioral aspect. But then but underneath of this, there are few key technologies which addresses these needs. So there being an intelligence, the how you develop a product has to be agile. It has to be automated, and in terms of a data capacity, it has to be on a cloud. So starting with an intelligence, what is the intelligent factors that brings here? So nowadays, if you go to any hotel, you need not have their keys to check in or just to open your door. Maybe you can use your mobile phone in order to just open the door. So, or even for that matter, you can just sync your mobile remote to your current AC. That's the level of intelligence we are talking about here with the help of technology. So that is the pillar of intelligence when we are using the different technologies like IoT in order to get the best of the experience. Agile is how you develop a product. So earlier there was a SDLC, which was a systematic approach for the product development. But agile the addresses the need of a change, the need of a progression advancement whenever you're developing any product. So it might be it does not depend on the location, which part of the world you are in, whether it's a day or a night, but definitely the product development happens 24/7 because it is a location independent agile. Again, the time I spoke about, it is agility of a time that gives you a better advantage when you use the agile methodology. Next factor is the automation. I think this current generation knows automation much more than anybody of the previous generation. So I'm not talking much, but the advent of sensors and the multiple automation technologies or the hypersensitive things that has come into picture, automation has become the prime most important pillar in the technology advent. Last but not the least is the cloud pillar. So cloud give you an advantage to adhere your data, to upload a lot of the data that you're producing in day-to-day life can have a secure place. And the advancement of the AWS and the Azure of the world, definitely we have reached a next level of a data storage where we need not depend on the hardware for the data storage, and we can have done a lot of analytics on existing data with big data and analytics in place. So lastly, these are the pillars like intelligent, agile, automation, and cloud, which are a basic pillar for a business 4.0 to have those four behavior examples that I spoke about. So guys, Dora, can you just move on to the next slide? So guys, thank you so much. The whatever example that I have cited are just not for the any company that you are targeting in for the placement or the any company that is there in the business. As a student, you also can have the business 4.0 aspects in your day-to-day life. Like how you can leverage your ecosystem. You have an ecosystem of a people. You have an ecosystem of your college. There are a few companies like IT companies like a TCS who are coming up with the different hackathons of the world where you can participate. Use those leverage ecosystem to have create your own product, you yourself as a brand, so that you are well aware for the placement. And the lastly, embrace a risk. So always try a new things. Having a calculated risk never falls you back. So always take a calculated risk. It says fail fast but fail forward, so that you can I just wanted to conclude on the note that even Einstein, whenever he developed a bulb, electric bulb, he almost failed almost 9,000 times, and the last attempt he could develop. So just do not consider the failure attempts as a failure attempt. It was attempt that you tried, and fail fast and fail forward. That's what I wanted to say and conclude this business 4.0. And now we can, I think, Anuj sir, we can open the floor for questions. Thank you, everyone. You are really pleasant listener. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shraddha, and a very meaningful insight for Business 4.0 in alignment with Industry 4.0. And it's all about business, which is going to take and our economy further, especially after COVID. And IT will definitely play a major role for making India a superpower. And I was like, it's being very well said that the industrialization was the opportunity which India had with so much population, but China with their political and they took the opportunity and took industry, all the core sector industries to China. But definitely India also has a good stake in the manufacturing and other industries. But digital is the next big opportunity with the brains India had and the type of value system Indian IT industry has created, including TCS, that India is always looked upon by the worlds to come up with all possible solutions into IT. And Business 4.0 will definitely be an accelerator for driving this growth and this opportunity of digitalization, making India definitely Atmanirbhar and an employment for everyone opportunity. I can definitely see, like in China, there are every home producing something. Maybe our every home of India is producing an IT professional who is well prepared to accept the challenges of future. So your comments, Dr. Manish, and then we try to, and any of the questions you want to put in, sir. The floor is all yours.
My first comment would be that perhaps Shraddha speaks faster than she thinks. So
Okay.
I'm highly impressed. Generally, it is said in the reverse order that you think faster and you speak slower. But then in your case, it is the reverse. But the jokes apart, today is the day when we are having Rafale fighter jets. And I think I would definitely agree with Anuji that India is on the way to become a superpower, not only in the from the army or the defense point of view, but also from the think tank point of view. India is known for its thought process, for its philosophy, for the practices, for the ancient practices that we have been carrying forward. And definitely, what you told Shraddha today, of course, you gave very good examples like the aerospace industry or the commodity industry or the different parts of the society, I think the students would have definitely took this message that they are going to contribute. Rather, it becomes their moral responsibility to contribute to the overall development of the society. Not taking much time, I would be happy if we take questions from the audiences.
Thank you. Thank you so
Definitely. So, yes, thank you again, Shraddha and Gaurav. And we will take few questions from our student panels on the screen. So, Shikha, Bhumika, you have any questions? We can take few.
So, it was a very wonderful presentation, ma'am. And as you said, that failure are not the failure attempts, they are just times that you have tried much. And it was really very explanatory and informative presentation. So, here we have, ma'am, one question. What are the new job opportunities that we can expect because of Business 4.0? Job opportunities that we expect from this point of view.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Shikha. So yeah, that's a good question, and definitely I like the key takeaways that you have taken from the session. That failure is just one another attempt that you tried once again. So when you talk about the job opportunities, I will suggest instead of seeing it as a job opportunities, you will see if you see how industry is changing, and if you have how you're able to try to fit in into the industry. So even when the I like to cite an example of when Apple came into when Apple started in the garage, and they when they came into the finding the product something like an Apple, there was no vision that something was required for a market or the industry, but they still came up with the idea, the design that they developed. There was a no need for the having a design innovation, but they were the pioneer to have a design innovation at that point in time, and then it became a need. So I will suggest for everybody when it comes for the job opportunity, see how market is changing, try to develop your brand or you yourself with those accompanying those technologies. So if you see the job opportunities will be there in terms of AI, the analytics and the big data that's coming into, then again the cyber security for that matter. So there are different technologies. Get well versed with those technologies so that you are well equipped when it comes to the new opportunities in the market and you can address that. So don't see from job opportunities point of view, see how you can develop yourself in order to cater to different job opportunities that's coming into the market.
In
I
fact,
hope that answers the question.
just like to add one point here. I think Shraddha put up a very brilliant comment saying that don't look this as a job opportunity. So that is where you need to look at it as a learning opportunity. Okay. Try to have your hunger for learning new things. And as I think Shraddha shared during the presentation, right, there are so many multiple areas that TCS is currently working on. And not only TCS, even other organizations are also working on. And even in addition to what Anuj sir mentioned regarding digital is a key right now. So you name a digital technology, say for example, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, big data analytics. In all the areas, there are enormous opportunities available in within TCS, outside TCS. But everything boils down to the potential and the performance and the aspiration of the candidate. How much they want to learn, how much hunger that they have for learning, to what level of you know what I mean, they want to demonstrate that potential. So there are multiple things that comes into picture, but opportunities are enormous.
Thank you, sir.
The next one, Bhumika, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir. From this presentation, students must have understood what Business 4.0 is. But as you are from IT sector, the students really want to know that how do you feel that pandemic has changed the IT sector? What are the effects on the job opportunities and its future?
Okay. So
So
yeah,
the same
definitely.
question is coming in different way. What are the opportunities in future? Whether you
No,
take it as a
that's true.
technology or you take it as a pandemic.
That's
So,
true. I
so
just wanted to add actually one aspect
it's
here
not
that
about
how
gravity. It's about apple which is falling from the tree. So,
yeah, yeah, that's a good one to put, sir. But just I wanted to add that to answer the Bhumika's question. The advantage of being in IT that we got is the SBWS. That TCS has recently introduced one more thing, that secure borderless workspace model. So that is something that TCS has been pioneered in order to have leverage for us to work and in the same zeal and zest for a company, rather with the giving a better performance in the era of pandemic. So that's what I have seen. Maybe as being an IT professional and having a TCS under the umbrella of SBWS, which is a secure borderless workspace model, it has been you can say a good journey to have during the pandemic, at least in from the workforce model, that we are able to leverage the current existing infrastructure to have the continue the BAU, the business as usual is going for a TCS in the pandemic.
I would
That's
like
it.
to add one thing,
Yes,
Shraddha.
yes.
Yes, please
You
go.
know what Bhumika and Shubhangi,
Shikha.
Shikha, what you have raised is definitely a very common question in the mindset of the students. And the one point answer that I always quote to my students is that the show never stops. You know,
Yeah.
come what may, things keep moving, and it's the responsibility of the engineers, of the technicians, of the technocrats, of the common man of the society to find out the ways that how the show would keep moving. And then it is a typical lazy mindset. For example, a school student or a college student, that, oh, today is raining, so I think I can miss today's class, so I would not have to go to school or to the college. So we have to come out of this mindset, all the students, all the teachers, all the citizens of India, that come what may, the show would never stop, it would keep going.
True.
Very well
It's
cited.
Very well said, sir. Thank you.
One question from the audience, that about villages. We all have found that lot of our major population and a larger population lives in village, and all these business 4.0 and cloud and whatever we talk about is probably the term which remains to metros. Definitely, they are more populated, but then goes to tier 2, tier 3 cities, and how this business. So, like, has TCS thought of something to bring an IT change in the villages? Because, to my best understanding, TCS is the only and a forerunner company to support the government at the lowest level of federal system, which is panchayat and all. So, is that business 4.0 trying to give opportunities for the villagers to connect and maybe to the mainstream and do the business? And like, how is your thoughts on villages opportunity with business 4.0?
Sure. Thank you, Prashant. I think Prashant has asked that question.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, definitely. Even Gaurav mentioned about there are few efforts that not philanthropic, but TCS is one of the company known for their philanthropic efforts. So definitely, Business 4.0 is targeting villages. So just to give an example, M Krishi app. Maybe we all are in the metro cities. We're not aware about the M Krishi as an app, but there is an app for the villagers or for farmers of the India, which is the most downloaded app, I will say, by the farmers. So this app gives you, which is the product of Business 4.0 under the of the digital technologies. So what M Krishi app does is this app gives you gives the farmer the information of entire their farming system, the whatever the weather conditions, what kind of breeds you should have, how you should put in major efforts. So it is, you can say, the one-stop solution for the farmers when it comes to their farming needs. So that is one of the most talked about award-winning app by a TCS, which is a M-Krishi. It is an innovative product, innovative app that TCS has developed under the brand of Business 4.0. So definitely, Business 4.0 model is targeting villages and the highest population in our country with Business 4.0. So another example that I want to give, the postal. So even the digital innovation or the digital transformation journey that we have done with the postal again is one of the great work that we have done under the umbrella of Business 4.0. Passport. So you name it, we have an example where we have used the Business 4.0 in order to have a better customer intimacy and better customer reach there. So just to give you example will be the M-Krishi, post office, passport, which is reached to the highest level in our country. The low, I mean, till the villages that down the line. I hope that answers the question.
Yes,
And ma'am,
Prash.
what about ma'am the new products and the small industries that we are getting day by day? We are getting new products. We are getting small scale industries. How do we support that thing also?
So,
As village, we have got that Enkrishi app, and we have got some more type of technology from TCS. And so, what about the small scale, and what about the new products that we are getting day by day?
So she's talking about MSMEs and the small sectors. Like manufacturing is also transforming with IT penetration and automation. A lot of things are happening and bringing a change into the type of manufacturing and industrial practices which were happening in the past. So, how is Business 4.0 aligning with the requirements of those small industries? Is probably the question Shika wants to ask.
sure, sure. Good question, Shikha. So I have spoke about a leveraging ecosystem in my presentation and under the umbrella of Business 4.0. So here the leveraging ecosystem comes into picture. So TCS as a company is definitely not I mean, we are a huge, we are in terms of number, employees, profits, we are a huge company. But we are collaborating with our ecosystem, the SMEs, the small and medium enterprise. There are a center of excellence. There are few companies who are a niche developer. So definitely we might not have those capabilities on board. So we have either alliances with them, or we tie our hands with them, so that together we can develop a better product and an innovative product. Because as it says that nowadays you can't be the jack of one and master of none. So either you can be jack of all but master of some. So that's what we are targeting here. That we tie our hands, we are using this ecosystem across with the SMEs and trying to develop something innovative and the great products for the industry and the country.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bhangi, about the support for entrepreneurs, IT as a support. I think entrepreneurs have been the best supported by IT and IT practices. जितना entrepreneurship startup culture grow किया है, it is mostly around IT. But any comments from Gaurav, Shraddha ma'am, or Manish sir on this?
So, Gaurav, you want to
Regarding
take the how we
Yeah, sure. So regarding the entrepreneurship that you are talking about, see, I mean, TCS has a particular division called as TCS Coin, okay, which is called as a co-innovation network, where TCS supports a lot of startups. Okay, so there are a lot of brilliant ideas that comes up from the people, and TCS definitely scrutinizes those ideas, and wherever possible, TCS supports all those startups and get them to a different level of exposure when you talk about technologies or even you talk about business. So there are a lot of areas which TCS is supporting where see business we do not explicitly specify that this is business 4.0, but might be any one of the pillar of business 4.0 would be ingrained or would be embedded within the support that has been provided by the TCS. Okay, so that is where I think there are a lot of areas. I think as Shraddha rightly pointed out few of the examples that we have been doing for rural India, maybe in terms of M-Krishi and Indian Post, and there are a lot many other initiatives. But these are the areas where TCS has given a lot of exposure, and now it depends on how much the entrepreneur has the capability to digest the support that has been given. So there are a lot of factors that are involved in that, just beside directly supporting the entrepreneur and helping the organization to grow.
And to add to Mr. Gaurav, what you rightly mentioned, with my personal experience, and I should not be taken otherwise. But then gone are the days when the innovator or the person who has some idea was seeking some support. Today is the world, today is the time when you have an idea, you have that wow factor, you have that thing which clicks, and you just be in public, and there would be n number of people who will be coming forward to support you, to help you out. either in kind or in cash. So, of course, thanks to TCS for taking such a large initiative on the national platform. But then there are many other platforms, many other corporate groups, many other private groups. We heard about angel investors, we heard about the incubation centers, and so on. So, particularly, this message is for the students that if you have an idea, if it works, you don't need to be bothered about the support. You will definitely get support.
True. So, as we proceed towards the end of the program, we also would like to know from Gaurav and Shraddha, especially you have been one of the, I think I should correct myself. You have been the highest, largest fresher recruiter of the country. So, how the students every year the requirement keeps changing. Every 2 3 years, the type of jobs keep changing. You also, as being a part of such a dynamic IT industry, keep upgrading, upskilling yourself. So for the freshers, what is your message to look at before they appear for the opportunity TCS and other IT companies are bringing in? So your views on that from both of you, and then we take views of Mr. Manish also, so that students get ready for the next big opportunity and try to encash it.
Okay, sure. So I would like to start with that. So what happens is I'll try to put it very simple in terms of what students really need to do. So if you ask me, I can put it up, very simple format to understand. There are 3 A's. Okay, A for Apple. That you know what you need to remember. All the students need to have that particular thing. Number one, awareness. Okay, be aware of what is happening around. That is one of the major things which is required in terms of what are the things which are happening around. Okay, because that awareness will help you to know lot many things which are there and accordingly prepare yourself. So that is the first A. Second A is be aggressive. Okay, so be aggressive in knowing new things, because if you stop at one point of time, if your learning stops, then definitely your growth also stops, because learning and growth goes hand in hand. So be very aggressive for learning new things, as Shraddha was pointing out, right? Embracing new risk. So embrace risk by putting up the technology that keep it aside, try to learn new technology. Okay, so that show your aggression. So that is the second A. And third, agile. Agile means be very fast and be very adaptable to the changes that are happening. And I'm sure nobody had forecasted this uncertainty like COVID-19, right? But I think still there are a lot of institutes, organizations like TCS. They were very adaptable to the new things which had to be adopted in order to get your show up and running, in order to sustain and survive in the market. So that is where the agility comes into picture, right? So number one is be aware of what is happening. Number two, be aggressive in knowing new things. And number three, be agile, be adaptable to new things that are happening. Because as there's a famous proverb, right, that only constant is change. So it is going to change. There are a lot of things which are going to change around. But if you are aware, aggressive, and agile, I think you can certainly sustain and survive. Okay, so that is what I want to put up. Shraddha, anything from you?
Yeah, no, very well said, Gaurav. So yeah, I think I will want to reiterate the fact that what you just mentioned. Okay, but I just want to cite one example that when we consider yourself as a company, for example, any company that gets a highest rate of success needs to have either of this: customer intimacy, they have to have a product leadership, the product has to be best, or either the operation excellence, like the Domino's, which provide the services in half an hour. That's what they're unique. So create a USP for yourself. Consider yourself as a brand. Either you develop yourself as the best of the product, which will survive in the market, or you understand your customer will be what? The company that you're applying for. So understand your company or the customer at the best, how you will address their needs. That will be the customer intimacy. And last, definitely, is the operational excellence. That how you want to address that operational excellence by your day to day, or by your knowledge hunger, or the how to gain new technologies, learn new technologies. So again, the same facts what Gaurav mentioned, I'm reiterating different words. Create yourself as a brand and then enter the placement world. And thank you so much for this opportunity, Anusa. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am. I think we lost
Yeah, that's right.
Dr. Manish, but it has been a great interactive session and uh, a good learning one rather than. So we really thank you for this insight and the opportunity which you brought. I think my voice is echoing. So it says that when you have two great speakers, whether be quiet and I really thank Gaurav for coming in, Shraddha for bringing in this pandemic. It's morning time with lot of work to do on a weekday. The time and the idea which you have brought, the information which you have shared will definitely be a very important one for the viewers, for the youth of this country. And Career Pathshala is being watched by our Young Indians chapter, 50 chapters from Delhi to Chennai and from Ahmedabad to Nagaland. And we definitely get a lot of feedbacks and comments. Your coming in the show has given a new energy and a new thought process to our Career Pathshala. We have begun the second week of Career Pathshala, and definitely in coming time we will have a lot of excitement and a lot of good speakers, and also more and more presence of Gaurav sir, and probably Shraddha will love to have you back and give your more thoughts to the students. TCS has been a great support for Career Pathshala. Also, we'd like to thank Shikha and Bhumika for joining in, getting up early and being on the show. So really thanks to them, and a big thanks for the love and affection our students are giving. We are getting phenomenal responses on the daily quizzes which we are posting on time. A big gratitude to the volunteer team of Career Pathshala. They have been phenomenal, putting up posts and trying to bring about the voice of making every youth empowered with the career options. So we really are privileged to have youth like them to work for Career Pathshala. And once again, a big thanks to Gaurav and Shraddha for making this day happen. Your final vote of thanks, Shikha, you want to say something, and Bhumika, and then we say goodbye.
As both of you have just given some points, like just start learning and just don't stop learning and just try and try and try, and we are just enlightened by all your words and all your beautiful words. So we'll make sure that we'll try to imply them always and just move on your enlightened path. So thank you, sir and ma'am. Thank you so much for joining in. And we are just so grateful to have you both, and Anuj sir and CII via Bhopal. Thank you everybody to let me have this gracious opportunity to have both of a talk with both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. It was indeed an informative session, and it was great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the importance of this session is how you implement it, how you take this forward in your learning journey. And once again, a big thanks to Shraddha and Gaurav for coming in and making this show very relevant for the youth. It's all only because of you that people come and watch it again and again. And a big gratitude to Gaurav, Shraddha for being in the show. Thank you so much.
Anuj sir, just one last point from my side. I want to have a message for all the participants who are there. Thank you so much for your time, for patiently listening to what I and Shraddha had to share. And my best wishes to all of you. Have a great career, have a great life ahead. Make yourself proud, make your parents proud, and make your nation proud. So we are proud that you are a part of India as a nation, and make your nation proud. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for being a patient
Great
listener.
words to conclude. We as a country stand together in this pandemic, and we look at only one who would take India ahead, which is the youth of the country. A wise words from it can come only from Gaurav. So thank you so much, Shraddha and Gaurav and Shikha, Bhumika, and all these kids who are there in the Career Pathshala. We'll catch you live tomorrow with the next session, and we hope you follow us on the Facebook page. And tomorrow's session will be again on AI, and we'll be going a bit deep for people on data science with NLP. So the schedule for next week will be posted on Facebook page. It will be a combination. This time we'll have a career in automotive sector from some experts from US and India. We'll also have your marketing career in IT sales, and a very special guest who is a mechanical engineer working with Google. So how he made it to Google, let's try to hear from him. So an excitement week ahead, and also we'll have a panel discussion on Sunday on placement opportunities in COVID, and probably we'll try to take this week as an important one, where we try to cover most of the IT aspects, and then we move on to the other areas of career options. Thank you so much, Shraddha and Gaurav, for being on the
Thank you
show.
so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you so much.